using manual CPC for a new search campaign that has no historical data spend. I think that's super important. If you're not doing that and you're going straight into an automated bid strategy, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. How's it going, everybody? It's Gene Villanos here, another episode of the PPC Cave. Today is episode 103, and the title is Manual CPC First for New Search Campaigns. And before we get into this, I want to talk about our wonderful sponsors over at Opteo. Don't forget, you can go under the video description, www.opteo.com/theppccave. What that does is increases your regular 14-day trial of the best Google Ads software out there to a 28-day trial. So what do you have to lose? If you're looking to scale in 2026, you're finding more clients but less time for those specific clients, Opteo is the best for reporting, daily analysis, even working in negative keywords or just regular keyword search terms. They provide a deeper analysis for you so that you're not going from Google Ads dashboard to Google Analytics dashboard, creating stuff in Looker Studio. It's all right there in a visual package that's also actionable. I cannot say enough about Opteo. Again, www.opteo.com/theppccave. So let's get into our topic. Manual CPC first for new search campaigns. And I think Ryan's going to be proud of me just because he was always a super manual CPC guy first. And I think I know why. Ryan did a lot of lead gen. I think that was kind of his bread and butter. Obviously, he does both e-commerce and lead gen. Primarily for me, I started out doing Google Ads just for e-commerce. So that's kind of the backstory, right? Is with e-commerce, I think you can kind of get away with jumping into an automated bid strategy first for a new search campaign, or even going max clicks first, for the reason being, you know what sells on your Shopify, you know what sells on your store. So to just have that data, just kind of understanding this is what's going to sell. The most basic keyword that I should put in is probably the manufacturer product number. If it's, I don't know, Elevate Shoes 4565, you're probably going to want that in e-commerce as a search keyword for your search campaigns. But as I've transitioned closer to, or not closer to, more lead gen clients, it becomes more so, okay, yes, I understand the service that they're trying to push, but what are the keywords that are going to give me the best cost per click or the best conversions? And that's not always very evident as e-commerce bestsellers would be evident. Of course, you would want to get as specific as the manufacturer product number or the SKU or the title on the product page. But for lead gen, if you're a roofing company, you don't know if roofing contractors near me, or if roofing repair, roofing installation, or roofing Texas, there's geolocation attached to the search keyword or search term, if that's going to be the best for your ads, for your search campaign. So that's why I've kind of leaned towards more of just manual CPC, and I'll tell you why. So point number one is the very obvious that's been said so many times: automated bidding needs data to work. So if you're creating a new campaign for search and you have no historical data, and within that campaign itself there is no data, you're beginning to just run it, then of course you're going to need more data, clicks, spend, to be able to utilize automated bid strategy in an effective way. If you're not doing that and you're just out the gate running an automated bid strategy, even max clicks, a lot of people love to use max clicks in the beginning, and I think there are places where it does work. But if you're going for target CPA, that's a huge no-no, or even max conversions, that's a huge no-no, just because your search campaign needs time to spend and to appropriate that spend to a specific keyword and specific ads. So that's the first thing that you have to make sure of. Automated bidding needs data to work. So that's why manual CPC is so important, especially for a new search campaign. Bullet point two, manual CPC gives you immediate cost control. So if you're in lead gen and you're tasked to get as many qualified conversions within a month for under $1,000 spend, I think it's super important to use manual cost per click, just because immediately from the first day, you'll begin to see, okay, I need to bid XYZ amount to be able to show up to the first page or the top of the first page. And you'll see within 2 days at least, or at the very least, that your search keywords are going to begin to not only get impressions, but also begin to get clicks. And then you could see, okay, well, if roofing installer is getting this amount of clicks, but within the whole search campaign, I have other keywords that are not getting clicks, then you could see, okay, you could begin to control and toggle, ratchet up and down what you want to spend for specific keywords. And that kind of leads me to my next point. Bullet point 3 is you're able to prioritize keywords and search terms, and you can't do that with max conversions, target CPA, even on the e-commerce side, target return on ad spend, because these are automated bid strategies that's just going to pull your keyword, your ads, and your landing page. And they're going to see, okay, what has the highest quality score? What's the most relevant? What's gotten historically the most amount of clicks? Um, and just begin to show that over and over again, even if you're not getting conversions at times, especially if it's a new search campaign and you have no data. It's just going to show probably whatever has the highest quality score. And you don't want that, because there's going to be keywords, if you're running an automated bid strategy, that's going to fall by the wayside because you're not able to also prioritize those keywords because it's on an automated bid strategy system. So the benefit of going manual CPC is understanding, okay, there's 4 keywords in my campaign: roofing installation, roofing contractors, roofing Dallas, Texas, and roofer. You see roofer getting maybe 90% of all the clicks, all the budget, but all the other 3 keywords are not getting anything. So at that point in time, you can go through the columns and look at the average cost per click and just really bid aggressively lower than that. And then you'll begin to see the other keywords begin to pop up so that you're able to really rotate the keywords. And I think keyword rotation is so important, especially in the beginning stages of a search campaign, just because if you, especially in lead gen, if you begin to think that you know exactly the search keyword that you want to run with, and this is the only thing that's going to get you conversions, this is the only thing the client wants in the account, and then after XYZ amount of days or spend, you begin to see that, yes, we're getting a lot of spend on this, but not much of a return. Well, then you have to question yourself, why are you going to continue to do that? And what tools do you have in automated bid strategy campaign uh, where you can actually switch that off and show the other keywords? And you don't have a lot to ratchet up and down or rotate other keywords that are not getting spent with automated bid strategy. That's why it's just imperative to understand manual CPC first for new search campaigns, especially. And I could get into like a different type of perspective here shortly of when it's not a new search campaign, but still manual CPC is still something good for you to test. But for something that is new, absolutely use manual CPC and not an automated bid strategy, because you can prioritize keywords, search terms, offerings, products. Just be very granular with what you want to do with that. And also, that leads me into a point that's not in here, but it kind of goes with it. You can really break down, Ryan loves to do this, to time blocks of 4 hours to see, okay, where am I getting the most clicks? Where am I not getting the most clicks? You could break down locations. You can break down devices on manual CPC. You have the ability to go up and down if you want to bid more aggressively in Texas because you've seen conversions there, or bid less aggressively in New York because you've seen a lot of spend without conversions there. Then you could begin to really dive deep into the data with manual CPC, as opposed to an automated bid strategy that's just going for the highest converting search term ad product, you're not going to have much to toggle up and down when it comes to secondary bid adjustments such as location, time, and devices. So I think that's just another added benefit to using manual CPC for search campaigns. Um, and even as I mentioned earlier, if you're not using, say you're saying, okay, Gene, well, that's all fine for a new search campaign that has no historical data. But what if I have a campaign that I'm taking over, I'm trying to scale it, and it just isn't scaling. It just isn't scaling with the automated bid strategy that may be a target CPA or max conversions for lead gen. What I would say is go historically within the search terms and take a look at what has converted the most, right? And also look at the search keywords. So if you match the search keywords versus the search terms, or just even look at the search keywords in the last 30, 60, 90 days, what keyword or keyword theme is getting the bulk of the clicks or the budget? And if the answer is one specific keyword, and then you get another keyword that's probably still getting spent but not any conversions, I think it would be in your best interest to maybe switch this, or maybe create an experiment where you're still running the automated bid strategy, but also alongside it running manual CPC, so that you can take a look and target and rotate some of those keywords that are not getting enough impressions, clicks, and just budget altogether. And that's something that you could do with an established search campaign, not just a new search campaign, just because a lot of the times when we have an automated bid strategy, the longer that it goes, the more it really gets comfortable with just showing the same search keywords, showing the same search terms, and once that happens, it kind of runs in, Google Ads runs in basically a loop where it's showing the same thing, but you want better results. How are you going to get better results if you're showing the same search keyword, the same search terms, month over month over month? So I think that's very, very important for you to utilize manual CPC and know when to utilize manual CPC when you've seen something stuck in a loop for an existing search campaign, where in reality, there may be other search keywords within that campaign itself that has a great target CPA. Maybe you're spending only 2 or 3 clicks, but getting 2 conversions or 1 conversion off of that. So the cost per conversion is really low. So those are things as a more intermediate Google Ads or PPC manager that you have to look at when you start seeing an existing campaign just capped and in a loop and not improving target CPA or the conversions. That's something to really take a look at, maybe create an experiment so that you can utilize manual CPC and see if you can rotate some of those search keywords into the budget. And the last point, when should I switch? When should I switch from a manual CPC campaign to a automated bid strategy? And if you asked me this maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I would say, within a month, maybe like after 10 conversions. But now that I've ran more manual CPC, I don't want to switch. If I'm getting the conversions that I want to get, if I'm getting the keywords that I want, and the client and the account really gets high conversions volume or high conversion rates on, then why would I switch? But if you really want to hone in and be like, okay, yeah, I've gotten 30 plus conversions each month consistently for the last 2 or 3 months. That's something that I would look at maybe switching to a max conversion or target CPA at that point, or target return on ad spend for um, e-commerce. So these are practical tips that I think every PPC manager goes through. When should we use manual CPC? How we should use an automated bid strategy? But in this specific episode, I really wanted to touch up on using manual CPC for a new search campaign that has no historical data spend. I think that's super important. If you're not doing that and you're going straight into an automated bid strategy, you're really shooting yourself in the foot almost in every single campaign type, also, not just search. Yes, PMax only allows you to do max conversions or max conversion value, But when it comes to search, I think that is a time where you can really take advantage of the option of manual CPC until it's gone or um, sunsetted, as Google would say. So that's something to think about. And it's a short episode, but I think this is something that is going to go under our playlist of Google Ads for beginners, just because we're all beginner in some sort of way when it comes to Google Ads. And it's important for us to remember the foundational basic things instead of getting caught up with the new flashy AI or automated bid strategy. Our job is to capture demand. And if we can capture demand through a manual bid strategy where we can partition specific keywords that we want over keywords that we don't like, or specific services or products that we want versus second tier services or products that we would like but not as much as the first tier, I think that gives us so much control. Not to mention, as I mentioned, device bid adjustments with location and also um, time window bid adjustments. So all of these things are pluses or pros for manual CPC. If y'all have any comments or anything that you'd like to discuss regarding this topic or any topic, please comment below, or you can email us at theppccave@gmail.com. Do not forget about our wonderful, wonderful sponsor, Opteo. Upgrade your 14-day trial to a 20-day trial at www.opteo.com/theppccave. I spoke to Opteo not too long ago. They have some really cool things coming up in the horizon in 2026 that I can't discuss just yet, but I am part of the beta, alpha, whatever, but I can't talk to y'all about it. VIP only. If you know, you know. And also, we release every Monday at 12 a.m. Mountain Time. And we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Of course, check out our Instagram for any of our reels and our YouTube shorts for any of that also. And we're on TikTok. So if you'd like to ask a question, get on our social media and do it. And we appreciate our subscriptions, our subs. Thank you for subscribing and watching us. And if there's nothing else, bye for now.